Have you felt it? The global beat of BTS? This K-pop group isn't just making music, they're sparking a dance explosion. Millions around the world, myself included, are captivated by their energy, their synchronization, their sheer talent. BTS's moves are powerful, intricate, mesmerizing. They make you want to move, to learn, to part of that energy. But is it even possible to learn those moves, to even come close in just 24 hours? That question, my friends, is what led me here. To the heart of a challenge, a dance experiment, a deep dive into the science and the struggle of rapid skill acquisition. Get ready. We're about to explore the thrilling, sometimes painful, always rewarding world of pushing our limits and unlocking the potential within. Let's be honest, learning any complex skill in 24 hours seems crazy. The idea itself sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. Imagine trying to master a dance routine that professionals take months to perfect. The sheer thought of it can be overwhelming. It feels impossible. Our brains, wired for gradual progress, balk at the idea. The frustration of not getting it right, the mental barriers that seem insurmountable, all add to the challenge. But what if we could change our approach? But what if we could hack the system? What if there were methods to bypass the traditional learning curve? Imagine finding shortcuts that could help us grasp complex moves faster. Techniques that could make the impossible possible. What if we could find shortcuts, ignite hidden pathways, and accelerate our learning? Picture a scenario where, instead of months, we could achieve significant progress in just a day. The idea is tantalizing, isn't it? Could we, in the span of a single day, go from clumsy beginners to, dare I say it, BTS-worthy dancers? The transformation seems like a dream, but is it really out of reach? What if the key lies in our approach and mindset? I started digging. I researched stories of incredible learning feats, people who have achieved the seemingly impossible. Their journeys were filled with determination, innovative techniques, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. I dove into the neuroscience of skill acquisition. Understanding how our brains adapt and learn new skills was crucial. The brain's plasticity, its ability to form new connections, plays a significant role in how quickly we can learn. I even spoke with experts who train elite performers under extreme time constraints. Their insights were invaluable. They shared techniques that push the boundaries of traditional learning, methods that could potentially revolutionize how we approach skill acquisition. What I discovered surprised me. The potential for rapid learning is far greater than we often realize. With the right techniques and mindset, we can achieve remarkable progress in a short amount of time. While mastering BTS-level dance in 24 hours might be a stretch, even for the most gifted, the human capacity for rapid learning is far greater than we realize. The journey to mastering a new skill quickly is filled with challenges, but it's also filled with potential. The key lies in our willingness to push boundaries, embrace innovative techniques, and believe in our ability to achieve the extraordinary. Here's the thing about our brains. They're constantly changing, rewiring themselves in response to new experiences. Every time we practice a skill, we strengthen specific neural pathways, making them faster and more efficient. This process is driven by a substance called myelin, which acts like insulation around our nerve fibers. The more we practice, the thicker this myelin sheath becomes, leading to faster and more precise signaling in the brain. Think of it like this. Practicing a dance move is like walking down a muddy path. The first few times it's slow and messy, but with each repetition, the path becomes clearer, firmer, easier to navigate. The key to rapid learning lies in optimizing this process. We've all experienced those magical moments when time seems to disappear and we're completely absorbed in an activity. Whether it's an athlete pushing their limits, a dancer lost in the rhythm, or an artist immersed in their creation, these moments are universally recognized and cherished. This is called flow, a state of intense focus and enjoyment that's crucial for accelerated learning. When we're in flow, everything else fades away, and we become one with the task at hand. It's a powerful state where our skills are perfectly matched to the challenge before us. During flow, our brains are primed for optimal performance. Neurochemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine flood our system, enhancing our focus, motivation, and pleasure. This neurochemical cocktail not only makes us feel good, but also sharpens our cognitive functions, making learning faster and more efficient. We're more receptive to new information, our movements become more fluid, and we retain what we learn more effectively. This is why athletes, dancers, and artists often seek to enter this state during their practice and performances. It's where true mastery is forged. So how do we access this elusive state? It's not something that can be forced, but there are ways to create the right conditions for flow to occur. It's about finding the sweet spot between challenge and skill. The task needs to be engaging enough to hold our attention, but not so difficult that it becomes overwhelming. This balance is key to maintaining focus and motivation. The task needs to be engaging enough to hold our attention, but not so difficult that it becomes overwhelming. When the challenge is just right, We enter a state of flow where time seems to fly, and our performance reaches new heights. For our 24-hour BTS dance challenge, this means breaking down complex moves into smaller, manageable chunks, focusing intently on each step and celebrating every small victory along the way. By doing this, we create a series of achievable goals that keep us motivated and engaged. Each small success builds our confidence and propels us forward, making the learning process not only more effective, but also more enjoyable. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. Additionally, having a supportive environment can greatly enhance our ability to enter flow. When we're surrounded by others who share our passion and encourage us, it creates a positive feedback loop that fuels our drive and determination. So, as we embark on this dance challenge, let's remember to find our flow, support each other, and enjoy every step of the journey. Because in the zone where learning takes off, every moment is an opportunity to grow and shine. Challenge accepted. Meeting the BTS Army. To put this theory into practice, I knew I needed help. So I reached out to a group of passionate BTS fans who were up for the challenge, the 24-hour dance crew. This diverse group of individuals, each with varying levels of dance experience, shared a common goal: to conquer a BTS dance routine in just 24 hours. Their enthusiasm was contagious, and their willingness to push their limits was inspiring. We gathered in a spacious dance studio, the air buzzing with anticipation. As I looked around at their determined faces, I knew this was going to be an unforgettable journey. Hour 1. Exhilaration and the first taste of doubt. The first hour was a whirlwind of excitement and adrenaline. The room buzzed with energy as we all gathered, eager to begin our journey into the world of dance. The anticipation was palpable, and you could see the eagerness in everyone's eyes. We started with a high-energy warm-up, our bodies moving to the infectious beat of BTS's Dynamite. The music pulsed through the room, and it was impossible not to get caught up in the rhythm. Our movements were synchronized, and for a moment it felt like we were all part of something bigger, something extraordinary. Our instructor, a patient and encouraging dance teacher named Sarah, broke down the choreography into bite-sized pieces. She had a way of making even the most complex moves seem manageable. Her instructions were clear, and her enthusiasm was contagious. She believed in us, and that belief was empowering. We practiced each move meticulously, focusing on the precise footwork, the sharp arm movements, the fluid transitions. Every detail mattered, and we were determined to get it right. The room was filled with the sound of our feet hitting the floor, the swish of our arms cutting through the air, and the occasional laugh as we stumbled and corrected ourselves. As the initial excitement wore off, however, doubt began to creep in. The moves were more complex than they looked, and the realization hit us like a wave. We were no longer just having fun, we were being challenged, pushed to our limits. The moves were more complex than they looked, and coordinating our limbs felt like an impossible task. It was as if our bodies were betraying us, refusing to move in the way we wanted them to. The frustration was palpable, and it was clear that we were all feeling it. Frustration flickered across the faces of my fellow dancers. We exchanged glances, silently communicating our shared struggle. It was a humbling experience, realizing that we were not as coordinated or as skilled as we had thought. The doubt was creeping in, and it was hard to shake off. "Don't worry," Sarah reassured us. Her voice was calm and steady, a beacon of hope in the midst of our uncertainty. She reminded us that learning something new was never easy, and that it was okay to struggle. Her words were a comfort, a reminder that we were not alone in this. "It's all about repetition and focus," she said. Her words echoed in our minds as we continued to practice. We knew that she was right, that the only way to improve was to keep going, to keep pushing ourselves. The repetition was tedious, but it was also necessary. Each time we went through the moves, we got a little bit better, a little bit more confident. "You'll be surprised how much you can achieve when you set your mind to it." Sarah's words were a promise, a glimpse of the progress that was possible. And she was right. As the hour went on, we started to see improvements. The moves that had seemed impossible at first were starting to come together. We were still far from perfect, but we were making progress. And that progress was exhilarating. It was a reminder that with determination and hard work, we could achieve more than we ever thought possible. Hour 12. The wall and the whispers of give up. Fast forward 12 hours, and the reality of our challenge had truly set in. Exhaustion weighed heavily on our bodies, and the dance studio mirrors reflected our weary faces. The initial excitement had given way to a gritty determination. We pushed through the pain, our muscles aching, our minds begging for a break. But the whispers of give up were drowned out by the pounding rhythm of the music and the unwavering support of our fellow dancers. We had hit the wall, that inevitable obstacle in any challenging endeavor. But instead of letting it break us, we used it as an opportunity to dig deeper, to find reserves of strength and resilience we didn't know we possessed. breakthrough, the joy of small victories. And then something magical happened. After hours of tireless practice, a breakthrough, a seemingly impossible sequence of steps suddenly clicked into place. A wave of exhilaration surged through the room as we nailed the move in unison. It was a small victory, but it felt like a monumental triumph. It reminded us that progress is possible, even when we feel stuck. It fueled our motivation, reigniting the spark of hope in our eyes. From that moment on, the energy in the studio shifted. We celebrated every small win, every improvement, every moment of flow. We were no longer just learning a dance routine, we were pushing our limits, discovering hidden potential, and forging an unbreakable bond of camaraderie.